You're listening to Potty Mouth Radio, the home of movies, music, television, and comedy. We watch a thing. We watch a thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We Watched a Thing with Billy and Dave. How you doing, mate?
I'm very good, my friend. How are you?
You're very good, because peek behind the curtain here. We're recording early this week because next week you're going to be here and we're going to be going out for beers.
And burgers.
And burgers.
It's burgers in Canberra, apparently.
I know that you were very excited because you were sending me lots of screenshots of the pictures of burgers on their
holy
menu.
shit, they look like, you know, those ridiculous American reels that you get on TikTok and Instagram and stuff of the guys that make the inedible burgers 10 feet high and then pour cheese sauce all over them and shit. They look like that.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about burgers this week. That'll be next week. This week we're talking about lots of stuff, actually. Sinners and Drop are the main things. Which one should we chat about first, mate?
Drop.
Let's do it. Drop is a 2025 American thriller film directed by Christopher Landon and written by Gillian Jacobs and Chris Roach. It stars Megan Faye, Brandon Scanlon, Violet Bean, and Jeffrey Self. And what is it about, mate?
It is about I was going to say young woman, but she's not that young. 30-somethings. I don't mean that in a bad way, but she's got a kid and has come recently out of an abusive relationship with the father of her son, and is sort of getting back out there. And she's going on a date who she's met through some dating app, and they're on their first date, and then she gets sort of messaged through her phone. Telling her to do a whole bunch of things because someone is in her house with her sister who is and her kid. The sister's babysitting.
Yep.
And she sees video that this is in fact the case, and she is forced to do a whole bunch of things for fear of them being killed.
Yep.
Which progressively go from stealing the memory card out of the camera of her date, who's a photojournalist of some kind, all the way up to being told to kill him.
Yeah. I mean, let's get straight into it then. So it is a Blumhouse film, which carries with it a certain...
I'm not Paul Brazulla. I reckon Blumhouse are probably 50-50 awesome
That's
films
how
and
I
shit
feel
films.
too. For me, they're 50-50.
Some of the highest of highs and some of the lowest of lows. Some of your highs from Blumhouse are actually what everyone else thinks are the lowest of the lows. Like
That's
Fantasy
true.
Island.
That's true. But what I will say is that it had me expecting a horror, which this film is not. This is a thriller through and through, and I'm glad to see it listed on Wikipedia as a thriller, because that's what it is. This is a thriller film, and I loved it. I thought this was fucking great. I thought this movie was better than it had any right to be. I saw the trailer, and I was expecting dumb fun, and I just got fun. This is a really good time at the movies, I think. I'm curious to hear what you think of it, because your face is saying otherwise.
I think we were coming from opposite ends of the spectrum, so I'm not going to slag this off by any means. I think it's perfectly fine. It's a decent thriller. I came in with very high expectations because I think Chris Landon is a pretty bloody good director. He's yet to put a foot wrong. I thought Freaky was just a fabulous film.
Yep.
Both the Happy Death Days, I think, are exceptional thrillers. And I'd seen him interviewed saying that this was, in his view, the culmination of everything he'd managed to achieve with those films, and that he thought that this was his best film by far. So to this point, so I came in expecting, 10 out of 10 thriller, and it's not. It's perfectly fine. I don't think it's as good as either Happy Death Day films. I don't think it's as good as Freaky, although that's a very different tone of film.
Yeah.
That's a straight comedy, really.
Yeah.
But it is a solid thriller with an interesting premise that is well executed.
Yeah.
And there are some very good scenes within the film.
Yep.
I think the one major misstep, I think, is with the casting.
No.
Because
who? I thought the cast was fantastic.
Reed Diamond is the only name actor in this. Obviously, he's the bad guy. I knew from the very outset, I was like, there's no way he's just a background character with 2 lines at the start. That's going to be the bad guy. It has to be. Or why would you cast a name actor? And he is the only name actor. It's not like you've got a bunch of recognizable people and he's just there in the background. He's literally the only person I've ever seen before or heard of in this film. So right at the outset, I was like, that's going to be the bad guy.
Well, I mean, you've never watched The White Lotus season 2, which is fantastic, in which Megan Faye was one of the leads in and won a bunch of awards for her performance in. Like she's a name actor.
So outside of our female lead, her date, never seen before, and yet you've got someone who has been in major things for the last 30 years.
Yeah,
I think he didn't. It's kind of like showing Kevin Spacey at the beginning of Seven for 3 minutes and then not seeing him again and having a mystery around who the killer is.
Yeah,
you go, well, it's going to be that dude because he's a name actor, and you don't pay a name actor to come in for 3 lines.
Yeah,
unless
it didn't
it's a
bother
cameo
me.
Amongst a big cast.
It didn't.
To me, it was a dead. To me, that was a dead giveaway, and I think either have a nobody actor, a good actor, but someone who's not recognisable.
Yeah.
Then it's a surprise, or give him more at the start, so that people who recognise the actor aren't sort of sitting there. That's the only real knock I've got on the film, is that what should have been a big twist to me was so telegraphed it was ridiculously obvious. But I thought that everything else, I think she is realistically portrayed. She doesn't do the dumb things.
Yeah,
she responds. Yeah. She's genuinely torn. She tries to not do the things. She tries 5, 6, 7 different ways to sneak and get messages out, and is stymied at every turn. But she does all the things that I kind of think, well, if I were her, I would do the same things. I don't think she's doing anything stupid, which is rare.
Yes. Yep. Very. Yep. That's what I thought was the best thing about it, and I did think that her and her date had good chemistry as well, which does help because you don't want him to die.
No. I mean, he's very patient and tolerant.
Oh my God, it is the worst date in the world. That's the most unrealistic thing about the film, is that I would not be sticking around as long as he does.
To a point, until the instruction is to kill him.
Which is pretty early on. The instruction is pretty early on. She gets a couple of the kind of gag meme messages, and then it's almost, I feel like 5-10 minutes into their date is that she has to kill him.
I feel like it's further in than that, because she struggles with the whole camera thing for a while.
That's right. It's after. Firstly, she's told to smash his SD card. Yeah, that's right.
I did briefly think, oh well, maybe Reed's a red herring. Maybe you've got a name actor there to throw me off, and it's going to be him. And then when the instruction is to kill him, I thought, probably not. But yeah, I thought he was very good. Their chemistry was very good. The writing of their date, the conversational parts of their date, which are admittedly few and far between most of the time. She's fucking off somewhere else. And I think all the dialogue in this film is, I think, very well written. It's not showy. It's not, but it's very natural. The stuff with her and her date, the stuff with her and not the waiter, not the annoying guy waiter, but the
bartender lady.
The lady, who's... But both of them. There's the bartender lady, the African American one, and there's also the kind of greeter or kind of maitre d' type who's at the little podium at the entrance. They had a lot of those interchanges. I think were all very well naturally written.
It's
good. Yeah. I mean, it's not a fail. I just because I was such a fan of the Happy Death Days. I was coming in, and I'd been waiting for his next thing, because for a while he was doing Scream.
Yeah.
I think it was after what's the name, Badoli and Gilpin or whatever left after Melissa Barrera got the shaft, and basically the entire production team of that Scream 7 left. I think he was
now Kevin Williamson.
Yeah, he's
doing
back on with all the they backed the monitor up to Nevin.
I'm fucking stoked for that.
How you've got Matthew Lillard and people back on board.
Yes.
And he's saying, "Oh, it's fantastic." I'm like, dude, I cannot think of a good way that they're bringing you back unless you're just in a flashback.
I don't care. I'm keen as.
I'll watch it. Obviously, I will. I don't think it's going to be as good as 5 or 6. To be honest, I don't see how it can be. But yeah, no. Chris Landon was attached, I think, for quite a while.
Yeah, right.
And was super. Like I remember him saying he was super excited. It was a dream job. But I think he said it was something like it was the dream gig that turned into a nightmare. So I think they're all the producers. It must all just be a fucking horror show to deal with all that. Which doesn't surprise me after the way they treated our beloved Melissa Barrera. So. He's. It's not a bad film. He's still on my list of directors to keep an eye out for, and I think this is I'd say it's a soft recommend from me, but I think you're a bit harder.
How are you scoring it?
No, like a 7.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought this film was great. Like I said, I went in expecting a pretty stupid horror film, and instead I got quite a good thriller. I
tell you what, it's a better thriller than Flight Risk.
Oh, that was a good film. You leave
that alone. It really
wasn't. In a lot of ways, this kind of reminded me of that. This is the kind of thriller that doesn't get made a lot anymore these days.
It reminded me of that in the sense that I came in with sky-high expectations that weren't met, but I think they were a lot closer to meeting it this time around.
No, this felt like a movie from the 90s, but with very modern sensibilities, of course, and very, So I was a big fan. This was right up my alley. I'd say I'm a high 7. Yeah,
they did use the technology very cleverly, I thought.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's a made up thing, but it's close enough to things.
It's effectively like airdrop. Yeah.
It's like but it's a message. It's like a SMS, but done via Wi-Fi, whatever.
Airdrop text.
Yeah, I'm not criticising the technology of it. I'm just saying it was a clever thing to use because they used the geography of the airdrop and he's a techie guy, so he understands it's within 50 meters, and so they're walking around the restaurant looking at where people pop in and out on the screen. I think that was all really well done, I thought.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. All right, well, why don't we chat about Sinners then, which is a 2025 American horror film written, co-produced, and directed by Ryan Coogler. Stars Michael B. Jordan in dual roles,
Michael B. Jordan,
as well as Haley Steinfeld, Miles Caton, Jack O'Connell, James Lawson, Omar Miller, and Delroy Lindo. And what is it about, Dave?
It's about Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan, who are kind of come back to their hometown. They're kind of low-key gangster criminally types who had left some years ago and have sort of come back to town with the aim of kind of opening a speakeasy bar type thing just on the outskirts of town, and start sort of pulling in favours and things from various people around town that they know to kind of help with the grand opening of this venture. Meanwhile, there might be vampires.
This film is getting rave reviews, really high scores everywhere. I like Ryan Coogler a lot. I don't love the Creed films.
I don't think I've seen any Ryan Coogler films.
Well, you would have seen Black Panther.
Oh, was he the first one or the second one?
The first one. Right, I don't think he did the second one as well.
The second one I thought was...
No, he definitely did the first one.
All right, well, that was decent.
Yeah.
He's highly regarded. Like, I haven't seen the Creeds. I haven't seen... Is he Fruitvale Station? Or
he is. Fruitvale Station's fantastic. That was him.
I know he's super highly regarded. He's basically married to Michael B. Jordan, I think, by this point in time. People were you know, the idea of him doing a horror, I think, had a lot of people super excited.
Well, Michael B. Jordan was not. They weren't supposed to be identical twins. Originally, it was Michael B. Jordan
Jonathan
and
Majors?
Jonathan Majors, who, of course, after all the controversy,
Who knows why he pulled out?
and that was when they made them, you know, identical twins. And honestly, Michael B. Jordan, this is the best he's ever been. I don't actually generally rate Michael B. Jordan that highly.
Oh, okay.
He's fucking great in this movie in both roles. He crushes it.
He manages to not make them comedically different, which a lot of people would fall into the trap of. They need to be diametrically opposed, or people won't recognize. Really subtle differences.
Yes, that's the best thing
differences
about it.
in wardrobe and sort of facial hair and little touches.
Most times when people play twins,
underplayed.
Most time when people play twins, even thinking like To the Monkey, for example, very recent
exactly
example,
where I was going to go.
The characters are very diametrically opposed, and there's
the audience
big character
we need
choices.
to have one of them needs to have like a black eye and a broken nose and a shaved head and a scar.
Whereas this, it was basically just they wear different colours, but they are very similar people. And I think he played
different hair and but
and slightly
one is slightly softer in nature, one is slightly more businesslike, and that's reflected, and that matches the written characters. I think he's subtly changed his performance to match the character on paper. So you've got one who's got a failed marriage and is kind of the slightly more criminal, the slightly, you know, the one that's more likely to probably shoot someone if it needed to be done. The other's a little bit more of a little bit more of a romantic. He's the one that goes off, you know, wooing musicians and things like that. While the more serious one is the one who's doing the business side of things.
I thought he was fantastic. I thought Haley Steinfeld was brilliant, as she always is. Like, I think the cast are fantastic, the screenplay is fantastic, the direction's fantastic. This is a fantastic film. What it's not really is a horror. This isn't very horror. The scariest bit in this film is that very quick jump flash in the first 5 minutes when he's, you know, running into the church and stuff, and you get like a flashback of the night.
Yeah.
But this is like a 2.5-hour film with a half-hour vampire segment at the end.
Yeah.
Which is more fun by the time
you get there. It's not from dusk till dawn. This is a gangster film that takes a weird turn in the final act.
And when you get there, it's actually more fun than anything else. It's much more, I don't know, there's more joy in it, which is surprising given that the first 2 hours of this film are actually quite heavy and gritty, but I think the way that it's balanced is just fantastic. The idea of the folk singing vampires when they're singing Wild Mountain Time. I'm like, fuck, this is cinema. This is cinema.
I was watching it going, Billy and I are going to spend half an hour talking about all of the awesome Irish folk music.
It is
when
so
they do the big dance number to Rocky Road to Dublin. And, just awesome.
It's just so good. It's so well done. Like,
it's not subtle. I mean, they couldn't have made them whiter.
Yes.
They're doing. They're fully Irish immigrants. They're doing Irish folk music.
Yeah.
As opposed to the cool sultry blues going on inside.
Yeah. And I don't as you say, it's not subtle at all. And it's not subtle that, you know, then the most actual kind of violent, rage-filled bit of the film comes the next day after the vampires are dead, and you get, you know, the clan members arriving to the bar and there's that standoff there. Like it's like you say, it's not subtle, but it doesn't need to be. I loved this movie.
I could have done with another 5 minutes of watching Haley Steinfeld as a blood-drenched vamp. That was one of the few big surprises for me, was
that she got turned first.
Well, not that we know she was turned because we see her go out to talk to them. We know it happens, but how kind of visceral that is and the fact that the person she kills is
one of the twins. Yeah.
Well, the guy that she's in love with.
Yes.
And the fact that she does kill him. And he's kind of the first to go. That was quite a shock.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it. I didn't expect it. You know, they're not shy about killing people off. Let's face it, no one walks away apart from young Robert Johnson kind of character.
Yeah.
The thing that I will say, and this is a big negative, and it annoyed the shit out of me when I found out, is the fact there's 2 post-credit scenes, which I didn't expect. I didn't hang around. I needed to go to the bathroom. I walked out.
Trying to remember. So what didn't you? So the scene where
the thing that
it's
annoys
like 20
me,
years,
I mean,
not 20, where it's like 50 years later, and you see him. That's not a post-credit scene, is it?
It's mid-credits or something. I didn't see it. The credits started rolling, and I left, and everyone else was walking out.
Right.
Because it's not a Marvel movie. We all know we've got to sit through 10 minutes of credits, or we miss vital
that's not even a short scene.
Movie.
That's like
the end of the fucking movie. That's what annoys me more than anything. Is it's not an Easter egg. It's the end of the story, and I didn't get it because fucking every director feels they need to stick shit after the credits now. Put it in the goddamn movie where it belongs, or put it in your marketing. That if you leave before the end of the credits, you're not getting the whole movie that you paid for.
Yeah, I don't remember that being a post-credit scene because it's not a short scene. That's like a good 10 to 12 minute segment.
No, and like because I read up about it because I heard it. I saw it mentioned in a review, and I was like, I didn't see that ending. And then I read up and went, oh, okay, there's not 1 but 2 fucking post-credit scenes. That no one knew were in there. The second one, from reading about it, is more of an Easter egg. You flash forward to, I think was his name Sammy, the Robert Johnson guitarist.
Yeah.
You flash forward to him playing or something, whatever. But the other one, where you basically see how the story ends, you find out that Haley Steinfeld and her
lived on as vampires.
Lived on as vampires, and go and visit him as an old man. That's. Yeah. I know this would have resonated with you. It's very similar to one at the very end of Vampire Diaries, where something very similar happens. But to me, that's the end of the story. It's
a really nice touch. And as I say, it's not a short segment. It's like over 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that annoys me that. And I've read a number of things. A lot of people have not seen that because there are cinemas where the lights have start coming on during the credits.
That's what I was just going to ask you. Did your lights come up? Because these days
I don't remember. I was waiting for the credits because I was busting to go to the toilet.
Well, it's a long movie,
so I was literally the credits started rolling, and within 30 seconds I was out of my seat and leaving, but other people were leaving too because it's a long film.
Our cinemas here now definitely they don't turn the lights up if there's a post-credit scene until after that takes place.
I don't know if generally speaking, I find the lights rarely come on these days. So it's not like that's a cue that you need to stick around.
Oh right, because our local cinemas here it's a queue. Yeah, interesting. That sucks that you didn't see that.
That's my biggest knock on the film is that I think, why are they post-credit scenes? Why are they not just at the end of the film?
Yeah. No, that's absolutely fair criticism. Yeah.
And I blame Marvel. Post-credit scenes were a fucking rarity. And they were there, and they were Easter eggy things. They were there. You didn't need to see them. They were just a cool thing that if people hung around, they'd see a little, like Ferris coming out and going, "You're still here, leave."
I mean, even with Marvel at the start, that's not 5 minutes in.
That's 20 seconds into the credits, the Ferris one. But Marvel have made it this ubiquitous thing that I reckon there are producers there going, all right, so what's the post-credits thing going to be?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, why? Why is
this,
it not
this
the
film
end of the
doesn't
film?
need one. Yeah, that's a completely fair criticism.
But it's well directed, well acted. Not really any knock on the film. The film itself, I thought was pretty great.
So, how are you scoring it out of 10?
I'm going to try and ignore the whole post credits thing. I think it's a solid 8.
It's a 9 for me. On rewatch, it could possibly even go up to a 10.
Wow!
I think it's really, really, really well put together. I loved the first 2 hours before it was Vampire Crazy. I loved the half hour where it was Vampire Crazy. There are so many sequences in this film that I just adored. As I said, the vampires all singing Wild Mountain Thyme was just peak cinema for me. It was like, wow, this is... It was just brilliant to me, so...
I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Nice. All right, let's chat about some other horrors which you haven't seen yet, so I will be spoiler-free. Let's start with Until Dawn, because you said you were keen on it.
I have been looking forward to that.
Survival horror film directed by David Sandberg, with a screenplay by Gary Dauberman and Blair Butler, based on the 2015 PlayStation game, which I had no idea until I sat down in the cinema and the PlayStation logo came up.
Speaking of directors that have got a mottled history... very low lows in Sandberg's filmography, but I was very keen for this one.
Yeah. I didn't recognize anyone in the film. Ella Rubin, Michael Cimino, Odessa Azion, Ji Young Yu, Belmont Camelli. I don't know if you recognize any of those names. I didn't. But I dug this film. I have no idea how closely it follows the PlayStation game or anything. Basically, it's a group of 5 people who are kind of traveling across the country looking for one of their missing sisters, who's been missing for a year. They end up in this small town, very, very, very similar to From. The TV series. It starts very similar, where they drive into the town, they can't leave, and as soon as it turns night, they're attacked by things. The fun twist, though, is that it's a bit of a Groundhog Day situation, where as soon as they die, clock ticks over, they wake up, and they have to relive the night again, basically.
It's very video gamey, isn't it?
Yeah, but what's fun? Yeah, but there are some fun twists and turns. The greatest thing about it is that it's not like, and they establish this very quickly. As soon as they wake up on the second night, it's completely different. It's not like they're reliving the same night over and over again. Things are different. They're attacked by different kinds of things. There's some really fun gore at points. At one point, they decide to just wait it out in the bathroom of this, visitors center that they're in, and just not go outside. And they're like, oh, well, I'm so thirsty. Let's drink some water. Turns out the water, for some reason, makes them all just fucking explode into pieces. And so there's some really fun gore at times. I dug this movie. I'm not going to give any spoilers because I think you'd like it. I think the acting is fairly strong for people that I'd never heard of. I think the story is good. It's got a good, fun progression and a good ending. Yeah, I'm solid on this film. I'm giving it a 7.
I'm just checking what these writers have done previously. Okay, it's a very mixed bag.
Okay, so
The Invitation, which was bloody good.
Yeah. Gary Dauberman, Annabelle Creation, The Nun, and It Chapter 2.
Writers on various games. They've come out of writing for gaming, done a little bit of TV, and then looks like The Invitation was the first. Really? Huh.
Wait, which one are you looking at?
I was looking at Blair Butler, Gary Dauberman.
See, Gary Dauberman's done quite a few things. He did Annabelle Creation, It, and It Chapter 2.
Right. So I would assume that they've been either put together to do it, or the initial premise has been done by Blair, who's presumably come out of gaming and done it, maybe worked on the game. I didn't see if that was a thing or not. And then they've gone, okay, it's a good premise, but we really need a better caliber writer. Yeah. And then they've got Dorman, who's got a pretty bloody good credit. Annabelle Creation's great. It's great. First Nun's pretty fucking terrible. But he developed the Swamp Thing TV show, which was fucking insanely good.
Yeah. I reckon you dig this movie. I reckon you dig it.
I'm super keen.
Yeah. It's a good, fun time. So yeah, I'm giving it a solid 7 out of 10.
Ooh, that's not bad at all.
The other horror flick that I got to this week, I was lucky enough to get free tickets to an advanced screening
Oscar contender?
Clown in a Cornfield. Have you heard anything about this one?
I've heard of it. I think I've seen a trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about who's behind it or who's in it or anything like that.
So directed by Eli Craig, written by Craig and Carter Blanchland, based on the 2020 young adult novel of the same name. Stars Katie Douglas, Aaron Abrams, Carson McCormack, Kevin Durant, and Will Sasso.
Stop. I'm sold. Kevin Durant's in it, the greatest character actor of all time.
This is a fucking awesome movie. I dug this movie a lot. It's a real throwback to
Is this
80s
like you
and
saying
90s
Thanksgiving was the
slashers.
greatest slasher of all time?
No. This is a really good movie. I think you'd like this.
Okay.
It follows a girl who moves with her dad to this small town in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Basically, all the town has going for it is it produces corn syrup. And the mascot for this, town-running corn syrup factory is this clown called Friendo. Anyway, there are some really great twists in the film.
I suspect Friendo is not as friendly as his name suggests.
Well, you are correct. Basically, just devolves into this huge bloodbath. The film is not afraid to, it's not holding any punches. Lots of characters die.
I mean, presumably there's no shortage of corn syrup.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots of characters die in lots of different ways. It's not afraid to kill main characters. And, the twists when you find out who the killer is/are, because what I will say is there are... What I will say is there are lots of killers. And the moment that happens is really fun. So yeah, I liked this movie a lot. I'm again a high 7, possibly even an 8. I would definitely recommend this.
And did Mum like it as well?
She did. Yes, I took my mum for Mother's Day. Yes, she did like it. She didn't like it as much as I did, but she did like it. She screamed at some of the jump scares. Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, yeah, there we go. That's Clown in a Cornfield.
There you go. And that's out now in cinemas, is it?
Yeah, I believe it came
cinemas or
out...
streaming? No, you went to the movies, didn't you?
Cinemas, yeah. Wikipedia doesn't say when it came out. Mine was an advanced screening. I think it came out today, May 8.
Okay. Yeah, no, it feels like something that would be a streaming thing. That's why I was... It's a Shudder original or something.
No, cinematic. It did quite well at South by Southwest Film Festival. Okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Nice.
I will.
All right.
I probably won't get to it. I'll probably wait for streaming, but I'm sure it'll be on Tubi or Shudder at some point.
Well, next week, I don't know who decided that May was going to be horror month now, but I'm guessing that next week we're going to do Final Destination Bloodlines.
I would think we have to.
Yeah.
I do need to do a refresher on the rest of the series beforehand so that I know what the fuck's going on. I mean,
mate.
Teenagers are dying, so...
You don't need to know what's going on. Look, I'll catch you up now. Every movie starts with a catastrophe.
No.
It turns out that that's a vision by one of the characters. They save a bunch of people, and then they all die one by one.
And for the next 6 months, I'm afraid to drive behind a lorry. I know how it goes.
Oh, my God, yes, with the logs. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. You don't need to catch up. It's not rocket science.
Is anyone of note in this? Because the previous ones certainly the ones I remember from earlier in the series all had decent cast members like
Devon Sauer and Ali Larter.
Yeah,
Elizabeth. What's her name? Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
What was she?
Isn't she? Am I dreaming that?
Is she in the new one?
No, I thought she was in the second one.
She's not in the second one. No, Ali Larter's, is it the second one? I don't... Winstead might be in, 3, 4, or 5, because I don't remember them at all.
Hang on, maybe am I dreaming? Wait, let me look this up.
Oh, Tony Todd's in Bloodlines. Must have been, the last... Didn't he die? Must have been the last thing he did. She's in 3, Winstead.
She's in 3. Okay.
I don't know that I've seen 3.
So I wasn't dreaming.
Yeah. So 2 is, I mean, Tony Todd, obviously, because he plays like Death, doesn't he? He's the dude.
Yeah, he's in most of them.
Keegan Connor Tracy was in 2. Yeah, they really didn't bother putting in big names in the second one by the looks of it.
No. And it doesn't look like they have bothered with Bloodlines either, looking at the cast list.
I mean, they don't really need to, I suppose.
No, but the trailer looks sick. I'm keen.
Bloodlines.
All right.
Let's have a look.
So that's next week.
Cool poster.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you want to get in touch with us, you can do that at pottymouthradio.com or pottymouthradio@gmail.com. Go join the Facebook listener community where you can keep in touch with us and do fun things. And go check out the Patreon as well at patreon.com/pottymouthradio where you get bonus shows.
So much cool content on there.
Heaps of stuff. And we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, we will.